Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I'm going to be interviewing a horror movie historian. I don't know if he likes to be called a critic. He kind of is a critic, but at the same time, more of a historian and just a horror writer in general. His name is Ronnie Angel. We've been Facebook friends for a couple of years through mutual friends that I've met at conventions and I've had on the show. And he's a pretty interesting guy and stuff. Really nice guy. I've met him. And we're going to talk about horror, all things horror, about the origin of what made us want to become horror fans, conventions, his writings, and all the research he's done and whatnot. And it's going to be pretty cool, and I'm pretty excited about it and everything. And he's actually good friends with a guest we've had on the show, Amanda Gonzalez, and stuff. And so we're going to just talk about all things horror. So, yeah, here is my interview with Ronnie Angel. Ronnie?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, how you doing?
Oh, not too bad.
Oh, that's good. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me on, man.
Oh, my pleasure. So, yeah, we've been Facebook friends for a couple of years now. Ever since I decided to pursue show business, I've accepted, every friend request I get, because you kind of have to if you want to pursue the biz and everything. But
yeah, I know how it is. I feel the same way.
Yeah. And sometimes it can get pretty scary, but sometimes it can actually form into something pretty beneficial to you,
Yeah. For the most part, it's been really good. I mean, like what you said, there are a few that are kind of scary, but for the most part, everything's really cool. And I've got to meet a lot of great people and got a lot of great connections, too.
Yeah, oh God, the scariest thing is twice this year I have gotten friend requests from guys that I've talked to who claim to be horror podcasters, and one was pretty instantly, but the other one took like a month. They both asked me if I could give them the phone numbers of a certain scream queen, and that was pretty inappropriate, I thought. So,
Oh, yeah, hell no.
one guy I blocked. One of the guys I blocked, and then the other one, he blocked me because he got offended by a mistake I made on one of my videos. But what he was really doing was trolling me just because I didn't give him the number and stuff. So it was pretty scary. The guy's name is Scott Aber.
Oh, okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, he's like trolling like everybody in horror and stuff. And I don't trust that guy one bit. It's pretty scary.
Good to know, man. I'll keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah. But I'm curious to know, though, so did you like horror from the very beginning in your early years?
Actually, yeah. That was something that I pretty much grew up on. I remember when I was living in Colorado and New Mexico when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go to a lot of the really good VHS shops in the area, and there's one particular called Front Row Seat, and they had a huge horror section there. And I remember I wasn't really allowed to rent them back when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
My parents kept a pretty close eye on that. But as I got a little bit older, my family moved around a lot. And when we got to Las Vegas, when I was about 10 years old, there was a late night horror host there called Count Coolrider. And he actually has made a big name for himself now. He's the Count on Count's Customs on History Channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to sneak out of bed and sneak downstairs and catch the late night monster movies on TV when I wasn't supposed to be up. So it kind of started a lifelong love of the genre there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I grew up with two parents who loved the old horror, black and white horror, but hated slasher movies and all this torture porn and stuff that came out in the 80s and 90s. And so I had to I had to kind of watch horror by watching it when they were asleep, you know? And I didn't get to go to conventions. The only convention we had when I was a kid was Fangoria Weekend of Horrors, and it came to the Bay Area once a year in San Jose. But I didn't get to go to those. But I watched horror like when they were asleep, and then by the time they knew I was watching it, like by 9, 10, 11, whatever, they were pretty okay with it. They just thought that I was going to get sick when I saw it, and I didn't, you know.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And it's funny you mentioned the conventions. I didn't even go to my first one until 2009, and it was Crypticon up in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And the following year was when I I had been doing reviews for about the past 5 years on besthorrormovies.com.
Right.
And I brought them some of my material and kind of met with the promoters there, and by the next year, they brought me in as a panelist. And my first panel that they had me on was a real trial by fire, and it was hosting the Friday the 13th Q&A.
Nice.
With C.J. Graham, who was Jason on Part 6.
Yep.
And Tom Ridley from Part 6, and David Cadams
Yep.
from Part 3.
Wow.
And I survived, and I actually did pretty good. I was pretty nervous, but I ended up staying with Crypticon for 5 or 6 years, doing panels and announcing.
Wow. Yeah. I started going to conventions 2 years ago, which I'll get to in a while. But I wanted to ask though. So where were you actually born?
Reedsport, Oregon, right on the coast, right next to Winchester Bay in the sand dunes.
Oh, so you are an Oregon guy.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, my dad lives over in Marysville, Washington, you know, and I visit him every now and then and stuff. And it can be pretty boring over there, but there's something about that place that just looks great with the water and the island and everything.
Oh yeah, and I think that I told you about that too. That I was living in Marysville up until last December actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really miss the place. I love it, man.
Yeah, I'm due to go back. Hopefully, by the end of this year, I hope to go back and stuff.
God, I hope that I can make it back sometime soon. I really miss it. Palm Springs is beautiful, but we need some rain here, man.
Yeah.
I know it's overboard up in Washington, but hey, damn it, I just want some rain here, just a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna happen pretty soon over here in Reading, where I'm at. It's gonna start raining pretty soon.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful area too.
Yeah, but the thunder and lightning drives me crazy because there'll be times. Yeah, I've only been here a year, but there have been times in the wintertime when I want to go to my favorite Chinese restaurant, which is about a 10-minute walk, and next thing you know, it's thunder and lightning and raining. And I'm like, damn it, you know.
Yep. It's just like in Washington, though. You get used to it after a while, and just like any other day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta get prepared to get wet.
Yeah. So what was the first horror movie you saw?
First horror movie I saw, oof. That's a tough one because it's funny that I wasn't really allowed to watch these movies when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Yet my dad always said that it was that they were stupid, that he never liked them. But my mom, on the other hand, was a big Stephen King fan.
Yeah.
So I remember watching a few of the Stephen King movies with her when I was younger, and the one that really got me Angel It when I was about, 6, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think I made it about maybe 2 minutes into the movie before I ran off screaming. It actually, it gave me a real phobia for a few years, and I eventually got over it when I was in junior high. I went back and I watched it the whole way through, and I was like, this is actually a pretty good movie, and it's not as bad as I made it out to be. So I think that was the first one that I saw, something like that.
Yeah, my first horror movie was The Shining. I was about a year old. My parents taped it, and it scared the shit out of me. And a couple of years later, 1987, my parents taped it over for Back to the Future, and I still have that tape to this day. And if you rewind it to the very beginning, just before the HBO PG graphics come up, you could see Shelley Duvall talking to the doctor, and it is pretty spooky, I have to say.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I still have that tape. There's a couple other things on there. One of my favorite horror movies from Charlie Band is on that tape too, The Alchemist.
Oh, yeah, I have that one here somewhere.
Oh my God, I have not interviewed anybody on the show who has seen that movie.
Oh, God, man. My collection is in the thousands. Like, if you can name a movie from 70s, 80s, 90s, chances are I have it.
I used to have that too. Then I was homeless for a while, and I had to give away about 95% of my VHS stock, and I'm just now getting stuff back thanks to eBay. And now that my situation has been stable after 4 years, I'm finally starting to get stuff back. And I had everything. I had every exploitation movie made from New World Pictures in the 80s.
Nice.
I had
same here.
I had them all. Oh my God. And I had like Crown International stuff. I had just the most obscure stuff you could think of at that time. And I wish I still had it with me and stuff. But I will. I'll have it all again.
Yeah, one of these days you'll get there, man.
Yeah. But what are your favorite horror movies of all time?
Well, obviously, when it comes to the slasher films, I put that in a different category. Well, as far as slashers go, my favorite one there, it kind of surprises some people too, because they would think, oh, Halloween, something like that. But actually, the one that came before it and kind of paved the way for all those movies was Black Christmas.
Yeah.
And that's always been a favorite of mine, just because it's unnerving as hell, man. It's so creepy. The voices on the phone, the killer in the attic, everything about it is just, it's still a scary movie, and it's still effective.
Yeah. I've had Lynn Griffin on the show twice. The first victim.
Yep. I interviewed her for the second book.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I've had her on the show twice. Second interview was hilarious. We spent about 80 minutes just making fun of those poor Me victims in the Me Too movement. And I lost count of how many times she said pussy, but she said it a lot.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite interviews with her. And she touched on that and curtains, and then she also Strange Brew, another one of my favorite non-horror movies.
Classic.
And
yeah,
I love talking with her, man. She is cool.
Yeah, I love her. She really got her heartstrings tugged when I told her about my car accident, and she sent me like 4 8x10 autographed pictures in the mail, and I was crying for days after that.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah, she's a national treasure.
You know who her husband is, right?
Sean Sullivan.
Yep, from
Wayne's World.
And but I didn't know this when I first interviewed her. But it came to me later on that he was one of my favorite actors in one of my favorite late night USA Up All Night films from the early 90s.
Which one?
Ski Patrol.
Oh, love that. Oh my God. Yeah, I love that movie. And yeah, I reached out to him for the interview earlier this year, did not hear back from him. And then when I interviewed Lynn in the springtime, she told me Sean can be a little shy at first, but she said she'll let him know and stuff. And I still haven't heard back from him, but I hope I get to and stuff. And I'm actually going to reach out to her again for a third interview.
Yeah, I really hope so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at my collection up above the doorway. I've got Margot Kidder, Lynn Griffin, and Cara DeLea.
Yeah. Oh my God! Speaking of Cara DeLea, I saw a movie he did. It was so bad. It was from the early '70s. He plays a hockey player who thinks he's a cowboy. It's called Paperback Hero.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's a Canadian movie, 1973, with him and Elizabeth Ashley. She plays his girlfriend in it, and it's really, really bad. But there's some really funny moments in it. They take schizophrenia and they make it funny.
I'll have to watch that one.
Yeah, it's on YouTube in its entirety, and it's good, no interruptions or anything.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first, well, no, the second Crypticon I went to. Margot Kidder was there as a guest,
Oh.
and got to talk with her for a little bit. She had her little army of little dogs with her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember that she was cool. I was surprised when she died earlier this year.
Yeah, I never got to meet her, unfortunately. That was pretty sad.
She was really nice.
Mm-hmm, that's good. My favorite horror movies of all time are Friday the 13th, 1980, Dawn of the Dead, 1978, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, Chopping Mall, The Alchemist, like I said, Mirror Mirror, and let's see, the 1931 Dracula, I love. Yeah, let me see.
I think
So many.
aside from slasher movies, probably my favorite, it's kind of gone back and forth between the two, is either The Shining or Pet Cemetery. And I kind of tend to lean towards, they're both classics, but I kind of tend to lean towards Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
No matter how many times I see it, it is effective every time. And even seeing it in a theater last year, and just hearing the reactions from everybody there, just kind of proved that point of how effective it still is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I need to watch it again. I was going to meet Denise Crosby at Monsterpalooza this year, and then I didn't go, and I was pretty bummed out about that. But yeah, those are my favorite horror movies. I got so many others, but those are like the essentials that I have to watch that I love. And do you think that horror in recent years it's starting to become kind of a dying art form?
No, actually, I think it's kind of the opposite. I think that it's kind of gained a resurgence, and that it's I think it's more popular and accepted now than ever.
Oh yeah.
Because of the way that it's gotten into the mainstream. Like you can talk to people that don't know anything about horror, like your grandma, and she'll tell you all about The Walking Dead. And it's like, would that have happened 20, 30 years ago? I don't think so.
But like, I know, yeah, it has gotten a resurgence. I know that, and it's more popular than it's ever been. But do you think, in terms of like originality, like everything's been kind of done, and there's nothing to shock people with anymore?
In terms of that, yeah, I think so. That it's kind of gotten to the point where it is harder to shock audiences. That society is so desensitized in general that they have to get more out of the audience.
Yeah.
And which is funny because I am not a fan of extreme horror at all. Like, people will tell me, oh, you've got to watch this movie. It's so sick and disgusting. And I'm like, I don't even want to watch it. You can just stop yourself right there. Oh, but a Serbian film. No, I'm not going to watch it. I get that all the time.
Well, did you see Beyond the Gates?
Beyond the Gate. Which one was that?
Barbara Crampton. She's like this this video. She's like this VHS board game hostess.
Yes, I did see that, and that was a cool throwback. I really enjoyed that one.
That was the first really good horror movie I got into, and I can't believe I'm even like, you know, mentioning this movie as a horror movie. It was and it wasn't. Do you remember the Angela Bettis movie May?
Yeah, that was another good one.
That was the last time I saw a horror movie that moved me until Beyond the Gates. That's so hard for me to say, but it's true.
I think for me, the last ones that really stuck out were Behind the Mask
Mm-hmm.
and Spiral and The Final Girls. All of them were very clever takes on genre. Spiral especially got to me. That was one of those movies where it had one of those endings where it just kind of leaves you in shock.
Right. I want to see The Final Girls. I haven't seen it yet, but I did see The Unwilling. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen that one.
That's a pretty good one. It's really fast paced. Also, Slasher.com.
I haven't seen that one either. I did see Girl House though, and that was an interesting movie too. It offered a lot of new ideas.
Well,
it turned out better than I thought it would be. I had pretty low expectations from reading what it was about, but it actually surprised me.
yeah. Well, Slasher.com. It's far from original, but it's got some great damn performances by Jules Shepard and this guy Ben Kaplan, very funny comedian actor, who I'm surprised is not a big star yet, and I know he will be. He's so damn funny in the movie. He provides a lot of humor in the lead and stuff.
It's cool to hear that Jewel is still doing movies.
She is when she can. She's been on a quote unquote spiritual quest that I see her posting on Facebook and stuff. And next thing I know, I see that she's in the Bay Area going on a cyber date that she met on the internet, which is quite funny because that's what the movie Slasher.com is about. It's about meeting somebody on the internet and then finding out that they're psycho.
See, I don't know anything about any of that, but I do remember getting kind of a kick out of because her and Beverly from Return of the Living Dead are both friends of mine on Facebook.
Oh.
And seeing the two of them go back and forth, and they hate each other.
Yeah,
I remember even working with the convention years ago where I can't remember which one it was, but that was an issue too. Like they couldn't sit next to each other. They wouldn't work together. It's a big thing.
Oh yeah, that's like Tuesday Night and Lisa Wilcox.
Oh, they don't get along either.
They say that they do now and stuff. I don't know how true that is. Tuesday's a friend of mine. She's been on the show, but and she's said nice things about Lisa. But I know they went through a period where they just absolutely hated each other because they had a jewelry business, and like Tuesday did an interview like 10 years ago where she said that Lisa like stole it from her. That's why she's not involved in the business anymore. And then like a year later, Lisa lost the business and now they're both not in it. But they had like a big feud for like a long time. And if you actually see videos on YouTube of them doing panels, they're like not sitting next to each other or talking or interacting at all. And sometimes, yeah,
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that, which is kind of sad to see. Um, yeah, I've heard stories of a lot of the different people that don't get along with other ones that they work with.
yeah. But those are the only two that I know of and stuff. But yeah, it could be kind of overwhelming and sad at times. Um, so when did you?
It's entertaining.
Yeah, it's entertaining too. Yeah. So when did you decide that you were going to become a writer?
Well, that was funny how that came about. I was already doing the reviews at besthorrormovies.com,
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing articles for watchplayread.com as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing those panels every year at Crypticon. And finally, I would have so many people come up to me afterwards, and they would say, "Wow, you really know your stuff. You should write a book." And they kind of got me after a little while, and I thought, yeah, okay, I will write a book. So that's kind of how it started. And I just sat down and I started searching out every single slasher movie that you could possibly imagine. And it was a long, long process.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one actually took me about 3 years to write it.
Wow. 3 years. I don't know how people spend years writing a book. I mean, don't they have lives and things to do? I don't know how they find the time to do it in that period of time. You know.
Oh God, I know people that have been working on books for years, a lot longer than that, and they're still not done yet. So I'm pretty thankful that I actually busted ass on it and got to the point where I just really wanted to get it out there. And my main reasoning for getting it out there was that I wanted to bring a lot of the more obscure movies to the attention of horror fans, like ones that they might not have ever heard of.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my driving factor, basically. And then with the second book, it's kind of funny because that one came about because somebody posted a video on YouTube doing a review of my first book.
Mm-hmm.
And guy kind of he really nitpicked my book and was like, well, where was this movie from 1983 or this movie from 1959? Where was this movie? I'm just like, oh God, fine, I'll write another book. And I kind of got the ball rolling on the second book.
Wow. So what year did you start doing it on the website?
On the website? Which website?
When you said that you started writing on the internet.
For besthorrormovies.com. That was about 2005, 2006.
Wow, because
And
mm-hmm.
that kind of came about because I was working as a security guard throughout my 20s, and I would do like the late night shifts, and I would just get bored and needed something to occupy my time. So that's how it came about.
Oh, I was a security guard too before my accident, and I never had that free time. I always had to be on my feet, being alert, everything. You know, I've always done all my writing at home when I have free time. You know, and do you remember AOL Hometown?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a page, and I miss it. Oh my God, it was pretty cool. If I still had it today, it would be a lot cooler than it used to be because they would have a different format for it. But I used to have a page. I would write movie reviews on it and stuff. And then around, I don't know, I can't remember what year it was, maybe 2002 or something. The AOL Hometown had went away or something. And I wrote Facebook notes of a couple movies, Kelly Maroney movies like Chopping Mall and Night of the Comet and stuff. And I've had a few people say, "Why don't you become a freelance writer for a horror magazine or something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love writing and I love horror movies, but I'm more of a screenwriter than I am a reviewer, because there's no movie I've ever seen that I didn't like, or there was something I could find that was good about it. So I feel like I would be a very boring reviewer and critic, And like, I don't think that I think people would say, "Oh, he's biased and everything and stuff." That's just like, I'd rather put, all my creativity of screenwriting towards my writing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. What's funny about that is that when I was writing all my reviews, I wanted to do it in a funny way, and my inspiration for that was kind of like Joe Bob Briggs or
Yep.
The Cinema Snob, somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to take like a smart-ass, lighthearted approach to it. And what that means is even with my favorite movies, I can still kind of flip them crap,
Yeah.
And like, for example, Friday the 13th Part 2 is one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
But there is so much wrong with that movie that you can take apart.
Yep. Yep.
So, and I would have to explain this to some of the people too that I would interview. That hey, just so you know, I had the nurse from Don't Go in the Woods get a hold of me last year, asking me about my books, and I was telling her all about it, and she said that she wanted a copy for herself and copies for her kids. And right before I sent them out to her, I was like autographing them. I'm like, can't remember, what did I write about Don't Go in the Woods? I flipped to the page and I'm like, oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
that's not good. Because I did say that it's a bad movie. It's a very bad movie.
Yeah.
But I said it's like the Troll 2 type of bad.
Yeah.
It is so bad that it's good and it's entertaining. And I've watched it like 50 times just because it's so bad. And I was kind of worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
And after I sent it to her, I was just kind of like, bro, how'd you like the book? And she was like, oh, yeah, I thought it was hilarious. I thought that what you wrote about it was spot on. Oh, thank God.
Man. Yeah, I haven't had the chance yet, but I will eventually read your books. And I was researching Slash Dreams, the ultimate guide to slasher films. And in that book, you interviewed the who's who of horror. You got Felissa Rose, Adrian King, Jim Wynorski. But the one that really made me laugh was Bart Metcalf.
Yes.
Niedermeyer.
Yeah. Niedermeyer.
Is that a Twisted Sister pin on your uniform?
And he's a really cool guy. And
Yeah.
I can't remember for the life of me if I got him a copy of the book or not. But I know that he's going to be at the Hollywood show in a couple weeks here.
Yeah.
Actually a month. So I'm going to have to go up and I'll just bring an extra copy just in case he hasn't gotten one. But yeah, I remember he was a hilarious guy. He had a lot of cool stories to tell.
Oh, I'm so upset. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss the cast of Just One of the Guys. I have interviewed a bunch of them on here, but still, I want to meet them all,
Well, which ones have you interviewed?
I've had Deborah Goodrich and Joyce Heiser on each twice, and I've had Tony Hudson on once. She's trying to make time to come on again to promote that appearance and stuff. And I tried to get Billy Jacoby and Clayton Rohner, but all they did was read my message and didn't respond. But that's okay.
Yeah, I had a hard time getting a hold of
What,
They're,
did you want to ask him about April Fool's Day?
yeah, that's what I was gonna do. There were a few people that just weren't into it.
Yeah.
And there was others that they would be into it, but then they kind of beat around the bush a little bit.
Oh, I can name names.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah, and then it just wouldn't happen. So I eventually, for the second book, I ended up with about 60 interviews,
Mm-hmm.
and it covers the span of slasher movies from every type of slasher you could possibly imagine. Friday the 13th, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, My Bloody Valentine. I interviewed like 5 people from The Burning,
Oh, nice.
Prowler, just everything you could possibly think of. I pretty much covered all that ground.
Wow, if you interviewed a lot of people from The Burning, I'm sure the biggest questions were, what was it like working with Holly Hunter and Jason Alexander?
A few of them I asked that. I actually interviewed Ned Eisenberg.
Oh God.
I was just floored that he even set aside the time to talk to me with how busy he is.
Yeah. Oh God. Have you ever seen Moving Violations?
Yes, we talked a lot about that.
Yeah, he's a horror fan in that movie and stuff. He's like, let's go down to the video store and get Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That'll relax you.
Oh God, it's funny when I told him that I wanted to talk about Moving Violations, he started laughing and he's like, I knew it. I knew you were gonna bring that up.
Yeah, guess what? I'm going to be interviewing the short-haired female cop in that movie, Lisa Hart Carroll.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, I tracked her down. She lives up in Texas. She's having a surgery this week. That's just going to be like a little teeny tiny procedure. But then once her schedule is good by the end of the week, and she's in out of recovery mode, she's going to let me know when. I think that's pretty cool.
That reminds me of something. When I was writing the first book,
Mm-hmm.
it's a bit of a sad story. I was supposed to have Robert Zadar interviewed for that book.
Uh-huh.
And I'd been talking to him for quite a while, and he was in the hospital and not doing very well.
Oh.
And any time that we would go to get started or set something up, then something would come up, like meds were kicking in, he wasn't feeling well, somebody came to visit him,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And then, of course, that he passed away soon after that, so it just never happened. That was really sad, though. And he was a really nice guy.
No, that's good. That is pretty sad, though. Yeah. I tried to reach out to. Oh God, this is pretty sad. Around Christmas time, like I think it was like maybe right after Christmas or like a week before, somewhere around there. I reached out to the train conductor in the movie Dreamscape.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Facebook, Ben Cronin, and I didn't hear from him. And then a couple of months ago, I went on his Facebook page and I found out he died first week of January. And so he must have been pretty sick and he wasn't going on Facebook or something. So then I reached out to his daughter, and I don't even think she read my message. It probably went right to her spam filter or something. But there's still hope, though, because people always get back to me when they find it in the spam filter, which is sometimes like 6 months after the fact or a month or so, But we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I thought that was pretty sad,
The other one that was interesting, and he's one of the people that I really wanted to try to track down and talk to, but every lead that I followed led me to a dead end.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, his co-star was the one who had the most contact with him in the last several years.
Mm-hmm.
And even he said that he had lost complete contact with him. And he's like, I don't know. I think he might be dead, actually. And that was Nick Savage from Friday the 13th Part 3.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I bumped to the killer from Final Exam, one of my favorite obscure slashers from 1981. And I was talking about how the character of Wildman is one of my favorite slasher victims of all time.
mm-hmm.
The guy played a drunken frat boy to a T. Like, you actually believed that was him.
Right.
And he was telling me, I was like, yeah, I really want to get a hold of this guy. He was great in that movie, but he never did anything else. And he's saying, well, that's because he died right after the movie was made. And which I didn't know that information isn't out there.
Mm-hmm.
Which that kind of leads me to the point that a lot of the information that I was able to dig up wasn't out there at all. And I was surprised that I covered a lot of new ground when it came to both of the books.
Oh yeah, I do interviews where there's no information where I get information that's not out there, on like IMDb or anywhere in the world from the actors themselves, and I'm like, wow, like I never heard that before. You know, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, I interviewed Summer Brown, who's the director of The Prey from 1984.
Oh my God,
And yeah,
is she on Facebook?
no, I ended up just contacting her. Nobody else knew where to get a hold of her, so I'm like, oh, well,
Shit.
I wonder if this works. And I just looked her up, and there you go, Summer Brown. I'm like, oh, well,
We'll
we'll give this a shot, and same person.
we'll get a load of this. Oh, good. Get a load of this. When I was at Sinister Creature Con, the one that you were at back in June, and Lurch was there.
Oh yeah, he was the killer on The Prey.
Yes, and guess what? He said to me, "quote I wasn't in that movie." And if he said that, he probably it probably had a different title when he was filming it because it took like 6 years to get like released, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah, so he was like, I wasn't in that movie. And I was like, what?
What was funny is that he was in it
Mm-hmm.
later on Lurch, but they also had the original Uncle Fester in it.
Yeah, Jackie Coogan. It was his last movie.
Yep. And the funny thing was is what I brought up to that interview, like a lot of the information that I had, turned out it wasn't true. Like
Wow.
I said, oh, so tell me about filming on location in Utah. And she said, what are you talking about? We never filmed it in Utah. We filmed it in California.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit. Well, that's what it says right here on Wikipedia or IMDb. And she's like, well, not true. So there was a lot of things like that.
Oh yeah, I interviewed that one girl in the movie, Lori Lethan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she likes to keep a low profile. She doesn't like to do conventions. She has in the past, but she doesn't like to go to conventions, you know, and stuff. And, you know, she's not acting anymore, but she's a sweet lady, and she doesn't mind talking about her acting career if people want to hear about it. And I had her on. She was such a pleasant lady, very much like one of the guys. She loves dirty humor. I was making her laugh and stuff, and she was really cool. And she told me some stuff about it. I can't even remember right now. I have to go back and listen to it, but she was really cool.
Well, it's funny because I brought up the fact that there's a Japanese version of it that has 20 extra minutes.
Uh-huh.
And I brought that up to Summer, and she was saying that wasn't even their footage. That you could tell that it's not even like the same camera. It's not even part of the same film.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, it just got tacked on, and it has nothing to do with the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Now that happens. That happens.
Oh yeah. Apparently,
Uh-huh.
And somebody from the Adada Body Count from 1987, which is one of the more underrated and unknown of all the slasher movies.
Huh. Wow. Yeah,
So,
there's
that's a lot of ground.
yeah, I mean, there's so many obscure slasher movies out there. I see. I'm a member of that group. What's it called? Planet VHS Terror on Facebook. I see covers for movies I didn't even remember ever seeing. There's a chance I may have seen some and stuff. There certainly is a lot that do get posted. I did see, but there's some I see and I was like, wow, God. People talk about there's too much content now. There's always been too much content. You know, it's just now it's on TV and streaming. There's no more VHS, and there's hardly any more Blu-ray or DVD.
What was funny is that I was able to track down three people from a very obscure movie that I just personally love called Twice Dead.
I think I
And
saw that.
they all gave great interviews too. I talked to the director, Brooke Bundy, who's on Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3,
Love Brooke.
and I also talked with Travis McKenna, who's on the movie as well.
Right.
Who has actually become a real good friend, which is one of the best things about doing these books is that I've made friends with a lot of these people.
I know it's amazing. Certain people. I do have their cell phone numbers, and we do text each other on a regular basis. And I just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I mean, I remember watching this person on TV when I was a kid and stuff. And I'm so glad that we're somewhat friends. And thank God this person is older now, because when they were young, they probably wouldn't have liked me because I'm a fan or something.
Yeah, you never know, man. Yeah, it was cool though. It was a great experience getting. I think that was my favorite part, was getting to interview everybody for, especially part two.
Mm-hmm.
Part one was a little bit harder because I wasn't established, and a lot of the people that I contact were like, "Well, who the hell are you?"
Yeah.
And with the second one, I could at least kind of point to it and be like, "Hey, I wrote this book right here. See, it's legit." So it turned out a lot better, and the response I got for the second one was just, it blew me away, man.
That's good. Yeah. So, as you said earlier, you started going to conventions in '09. I started 2 years ago. I went quite by accident because, okay, I had my car accident in January of 2015. I had 30 days in a coma, 5 months in the hospital, near death experience, and I get out. I decide that I'm going to pursue stand-up comedy because that's what I've been doing as a hobby for 9 years up to that point. So after about 2 months of recovery, I go back up on stage and I never leave. Then 2016 comes around and I'm like, okay, I'm bored just doing stand-up. There's other things I got to do, but I don't know what yet. So my friend took me to a Comic-Con, and I met Leah Thompson because everybody from Back to the Future was there. And
Oh, cool.
yeah, oh God, I still got the photo up on the wall by my bed. Oh my God, it's one of the most amazing moments of my life, I'll tell you. And
That's awesome.
yeah, and then a month later, me and my friend go to LA for 8 days because I wanted to see if I could get stage time in any of the clubs. I couldn't except for one. And during that time, we go to Monsterpalooza and go on. We go the first day we're in town on a Sunday, and I meet Kelly Maroney, Catherine Mary Stewart, Kathleen Kinmont. Oh my God, Brink Stevens, Robert Hayes, Fred Williamson. I met so many people that weekend, just that one day, and I couldn't believe it. And next thing you know, I am so hooked on conventions. I'm like, oh my God, I should go back to writing horror and science fiction screenplays because I hadn't done it in over 10 years up to that point. And so I went back and started writing again and started going to conventions and meeting all my heroes and stuff. And then a year later, I start this podcast when I moved to Reading because I have nothing else to do around here. And next thing you know, I got everyone's like cell phone number. We text each other. And I'm like, oh my God, this is just so surreal for me. You know, it's too much.
That's cool, man. That's really cool.
Yeah. But now, okay, so I'm learning all this stuff about conventions that I did not know, slowly but surely. So let me ask you, have you ever volunteered at a convention?
Yeah, I have. That was the thing is that when I was up at Crypticon, that's pretty much what it was. That, but I was a step up from that. You know, getting to speak on the panels and do announcing and things like that. So it was really cool. I was kind of one of the faces of the convention for a while there, and that it got me a lot more recognition. But yeah, it wasn't a paid gig or anything.
Not at that time, but now a lot of conventions are like paying volunteers now.
Yeah, some of them are.
Yeah.
There's still quite a few that aren't. But yeah, I think probably one of my favorite experiences was working with the Living Dead convention in Portland and getting to do the Q&A for Friday the 13th with Adrian King, or getting to do the Q&A for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Edwin Neal, John Dugan, and Terry McMinn.
Right.
And just getting to hang out with all of them, and like driving, it was kind of surreal. It hit me that I'm driving around the cast of Texas Chainsaw Massacre in downtown Portland, and you know, listening to Ed Neal tell me Vietnam stories, and it was really surreal, really cool experience. So yeah, you know, growing up as a fan of the business, and then all of a sudden you find yourself thrust into the business with all these people that you grew up watching. It's a really surreal experience.
Yeah. Oh my God. So yeah, I after the last time that you saw me at Sister Creature Con, I went home and I went to 3 conventions overall that month, and that was like the best birthday month ever, I'll tell you. And yeah, and I was just saying to myself, like, okay, I'm going to these conventions, but like, how come it seems like everybody that I've met that like they got discovered at a convention somehow. I was like, how come it hasn't happened to me yet, right? And then I talked to some people, and they said when you're at a convention, you got to volunteer to be like a money handler or something to like get your screenplay read, because if you're going there as a fan or as a press guy, that's all they're going to see you as, because a press guy, you know, comes off like a journalist wanting to get into screenwriting, and a fan comes off as somebody who could potentially be dangerous or full of shit. You know?
You know, and it was kind of similar to when I was back in the wrestling days. Like, you would go to these different shows and just kind of make connections, you know?
Yeah.
And it was funny how that rolled for me when I was wrestling. Like, I would wrestle one place, and somebody from another promotion would see me there, and they would want me to come and wrestle for them. And then I'd wrestle for them, and then somebody else would see me from somewhere else, and then they would want me to come work for them.
Yeah.
And it just kind of rolled from there, and it's just getting yourself out there, you know, just meeting different people and just doing the best that you can do.
Yeah, money handling is about all I could do because I have bell in my leg and pretty bad arthritis, you know, from the accident and stuff. And anybody who knows me knows I hated working in retail. I hate dealing with fuckhead customers. I hate, you know, serving the fuckhead public. But I'll do anything to to put forth my art, so to speak. And I'm definitely going to look into volunteering at a lot of conventions next year to give it a try.
You know what's funny is when you try to balance the two worlds. Like when I was saying that back in the day when I was wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
you would go from being center stage, from being on top of the world, having hundreds of people watching you, or like doing some of these conventions, being up on the panel, having all these people watching you, being the center of attention, and then you're on top of the world, but then on Monday, then you have to go back to work.
Yeah.
You're back to just being regular Joe Schmo. So that was a tough one for me.
Yeah, my biggest goal for the conventions in the future is to host panels there, and I decided a year ago I wanted to do that, but like certain conventions, they have you host these like presentation fan panels, which I don't want to do. I want to do the ones with the celebrities and stuff, but I gotta be famous too to do that, and it's been really tough, but eventually I'll get there. But in the meantime, I'll just volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna.
You have to start, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give that a try next year and stuff. How long was it though before you started signing at conventions?
What was funny is back before that, like going back to the wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
I'd already kind of been to that point where I did things like that before, and then it was when I started with the books. I had my debut for the first book at Dark Delicacies in Burbank,
Oh yeah.
and it was with the director Tom McLaughlin,
Yeah.
and just having all these people come out signing all these books, and then it kind of rolled from there, and I can't even tell you how many appearances I've made since then.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been quite a few, and honestly, I've lost count. And I've got another one coming up at Blast from the Past in Burbank on October 26th, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure who's going to be joining me at that one yet, but I should have some special guests with me.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, speaking of Terry McMinn, I'm having her on the show next week, and I'm pretty friggin' stoked about it because she's like the only one who's left alive other than John Larroquette, the narrator.
Oh, you still got the two guys in it as well, Alan Danziger and
Oh, I thought they were dead.
no, they're still around.
Oh.
Alan Danziger and William Vale.
Huh, I thought they were.
Ed Gwynn is still around, the truck driver.
Oh yeah. Oh, I could have swore they were all gone though.
Edwin Neal, he's still around. John Dugan is still around, Grandpa. So yeah, there's quite a few that are still around.
Wow, I did not know that. I thought okay, Marilyn Chambers or Burns, whatever her name was. Marilyn Burns, and that one guy and Toby Hooper, and I know that they were gone, but I could have swore everyone was gone except for Terry.
No, just those ones.
Okay, cool. I'll keep them.
There's still quite a few left.
Cool, I'll keep them in mind. But yeah, that's cool though. So since you started signing at these conventions and doing panels and what have you, like what's the green room like? Like, do you ever see really bad politics behind the scenes?
No, not really. I just kind of do my own thing. If you want to talk about politics, the wrestling had a shit ton of politics backstage. But I could talk about that one for hours, man.
But never in conventions, because I've heard that they do exist, but mainly between the organizer and the celebrity's manager.
I really don't know anything about
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, like there's a con like every weekend now in the world because back in the day they only happened maybe once a year. They were usually owned by a horror magazine like Fangoria, but
Yeah.
now it seems like there's a convention every weekend, and it's usually run by a guy who has a lot of money. You know?
Oh yeah, yeah. And what I have told a lot of people, and this is my thought on it, is I really enjoy the horror conventions a lot more because they seem more personal. As
Yes.
opposed to comic conventions, there are so many people there, and it's like a cattle call type of thing, where it is pretty much just wait in line for hours, go through the line, don't talk to them, get your autograph, and get out of here.
Yeah,
And
I don't like that.
yeah, very, very impersonal. And the prices are usually a lot higher at the comic conventions. I think it's a giant cash grab. So that's why I like the horror convention a lot more, is that they seem more suited for the fans.
Yeah. I prefer the horror conventions, but I like comic conventions just because I want to meet somebody that I didn't get to meet at a horror con or a comic con before. But I do agree that especially with the ones that travel, when you have an international traveling convention, that's the worst with the long lines and not talking to the celebrities and stuff. Like I went to Fandemic Comic Con in Sacramento back in June, like the week after Sinister Creature Con, and that's what I got. And oh my God, one of my biggest pet peeves: I hate celebrities who have a selfie only option, and they don't even acknowledge the person before they take a picture with them. And I had that with Holly Marie Combs, and
Oh, wow.
she had this guy there, this huge guy that was like her own personal bodyguard. He was like speaking for her and like, being just a real douchebag. And it just like, it turned me off like completely, and I tagged her on Twitter in the picture and stuff and she liked it and everything. But it totally turned me off of Comic Cons that day.
Well, a lot of times it isn't so much the guest as the handler. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of times when the handlers are not the best people in the world.
Oh,
I actually remember that there was one that I was working with at when I was at the Living Dead convention, who was in a certain actress's ear, and she had. I was just going around getting everybody else set up for the convention
right.
and making sure everything was running smoothly. I remember that this handler was in this actress's ear, and the actress had like a set price for her autograph.
Right.
The handler was like, "No, you should be charging a lot more than that. I bet you could get this for it." She's like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, actually, that's low. I think you could charge this much for it." And I just kind of looked at that and said, "Oh crap, that's not what we need."
No. I saw a guy, he did a vlog on YouTube of a convention he went to, and he said that there was like maybe 3 or 4 horror guys that are popular that we know. You've probably interviewed them. They like he saw them like he saw one of them like go up to this one guy and say, "Are you really charging that much for an autograph? You should be charging it for this price," And then like the four guys, they like get into a huddle and they probably said something like, "We gotta get him. We gotta talk to his manager about charging more money or something like that." And I was like, "That's so wrong."
Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, that is so wrong. And some of the prices are insane. I'll tell you, when I met Robert Englund, it was like 80 for an autograph, 100 for a photo op, and he's the only person I would ever do that for because he's Freddy Krueger.
Mm-hmm.
I would never do that for anybody else. And I'm glad I did it. It was the best birthday ever.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
Glad you got to do that.
it was awesome. Oh my God. Do you have any more books or anything you're working on right now?
No, I really don't. I have been toying with the idea of doing a semi-autobiography of my time in wrestling,
Nice.
and I think that would do really well. And I have a lot of interesting stories from my days on the road that I would really like to share with everybody. So I think that if there could be a market out there for it, that would be the next one that I would want to do.
Yeah, I wrestled a year in high school, and it was a tough sport for me. I'll tell you.
Oh man, I did pro wrestling for 10 years,
Wow.
and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of great experiences on the road. So I think I have a lot of cool stories that I could share about that. I know I was asked if I was going to do another Splash Dreams, but I think it's kind of run its course. Like, and don't get me wrong, I still love talking about it and the fans and the movies and everything about it. But I think as far as material goes, that,
Mm-hmm.
there's only so much that I can do
Yeah.
because it was already stretched in the 2 volumes, which is great. I think that there's a lot of great material covered.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that there would be enough for a third one, and if I were to make a third Splash Dreams, it would kind of be pushing it. So I'm happy with what I have right now.
That's good. You know, at least you're happy and you're prosperous and all that stuff. That's all that really counts.
Yeah, and well, I know that yeah, the wrestling one is something I've toyed around with. But right now, one of the main reasons why I moved down here to California is to give the acting a real good shot. And I've already been able to star in a few projects since I've been here. I think I've done about 4 or 5 since I've been here, which was in March.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm doing pretty well for myself for just starting out in it. And I'm really wanting to give that a really good shot, at least while I'm down here and while I still can, just to say that I did.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that next year. I'm gonna go down to LA, whether it's permanently or for at least a month, and just make contacts and stuff, and try to do all that stuff because I'm 35 now. I gotta give it a try. Otherwise, they're gonna be telling me I'm too old. You know.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's kind of how I felt. And there's only so many years that you could, hear the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
People, when I would do the conventions up there, and have people constantly coming up and saying, "Wow, you should really do acting. You have a great voice. You can do voice acting. You can do announcing." And I'm like, well, I'm not getting any younger, so
Yeah.
I might as well give it a shot while I still got a chance.
Yeah.
And thankfully, the time was right, and I jumped on it. So let's see what happens.
Absolutely. You know. And you're friends with Amanda Gonzalez.
Yeah, she's awesome, man. One of my best friends down here.
Yeah, I had her on the show earlier this summer. We laughed and talked dirty and just talked horror for like 90 minutes. She was a lot of fun and stuff. I said, "Oh my God, when I move out there, like we can be besties because you're so much fun."
Oh yeah, dude, that's one of my favorite people in the world right now, and somebody that I always have to go visit when I'm over in the LA area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She went to I don't know what the hell was the name of that convention, Midsummer Scream
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. Really cool getting to hang with her again.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to go to that one next year. I've been wanting to go for the last couple of years. That and Scare LA.
I missed that one, but
Yeah.
one of the other things that I really like about being down here
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my friends that I worked with at Crypticon, I was trying to figure out where do I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, this is your thing. I mean, these movies are your thing. You wrote 2 books about it. You should be down there. There would be so much for you to do down there in LA. And it's true. I mean, there's constantly things going on down here. All these different movies, these screenings, these reunions. Beyond Fest is coming up,
Mm-hmm.
which screens a lot of old horror movies. And it's at the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood at the beginning of October.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely going to go to that. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with being down here. I do miss the Northwest, though, that's for sure.
Well, you're on a good path, you know, and then you'll get to go back there, you know, when things calm down for you. But you're on a good path. You're busy, and that's all that matters. And I thank you so much, Ronnie. This was a lot of fun. We're on a roller coaster ride in the horror scene, and it's only gonna get faster and better.
That's right, man.
All right, Ronnie, thank you so much, and you have yourself a great night.
Hey, you too, man. Thanks for having me on here. I had a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it. Ronnie Angel. Ain't he a cool dude? Thank you so much, Ronnie. You're a really cool guy. Got some great wisdom and insight, and you've had so much great success in such a short amount of time, and I wish the best for you, and I'll be seeing you at the top. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Till next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.